Sure. My name is Terry Johnson and I own a business by the name of Keyman Financial Services.
Keyman Financial Services, okay. So we're here at the 2019 MDRT annual meeting. What brings you here, Terry?
Well, it's my seventh trip to MDRT. It's something I look forward to every year. It's probably the highlight of my year, except for my kids' birthdays and the Masters golf tournament. Apart from that, I love MDRT.
Why is that?
Well, I just learned so much. You know, I've seen my personal growth, my business growth over the last 7 years. It's been incredible, and all the stories they tell about MDRT are true. It's just a wonderful experience that every advisor should get to.
Well, that's brilliant. We might explore that in a little more detail later, but what were you doing more than 7 years ago?
More than 7 years ago, I was still doing what I do now.
Okay, all right. Let's go back further. What were you doing before you entered the financial advice sector?
Okay, so I was a sparky by trade originally, and before that we owned a family business. We were small business owners.
Whereabouts?
In Winston Hills in Sydney. We had a fruit shop, which was really hard work.
Okay, and how did that all come about in the first place? How did the fruit shop come about?
My dad was a farmer, originally from Coffs Harbour, and we made our way down around the place. We ended up in Sydney with a fairly substantial fruit and vegetable shop. It was quite large. Okay,
so you've had a lot of varied work life experiences, have you not?
Sure have. Yeah, I appreciate what a hard day's work looks like. That's for sure.
Sure, okay. So what was it about the financial advice sector that attracted you in the first place?
Well, I have a mentor in the business, a bloke by the name of Rob Pedersen. He's a very good friend of mine, and it's a funny story that my wife used to babysit his children. So when I met my wife of 26 years, Rachel, I used to see Rob jet-setting around the world and going to MDRT and all these wonderful places, and I always wondered what he did. And eventually we got chatting and he invited me to become a tied agent under his master agency with Prudential in 1991.
Okay, so that's a while ago. I suppose you've seen a few changes to the sector since then, obviously?
Yeah, it's well, you know, the core of what we do is exactly the same. People still have the same need. They, you know, we still have to. I don't care what anyone says. Insurance still needs to be sold, and it's got to be done in the right way, with the right ethics and communication skills. That hasn't changed, but it seems like everything else around us has changed.
Okay, all right. So, do you have a client niche? Who's a typical client for you?
For us, I work with general insurance brokers probably for the last 20 years, and as such, they're all small to medium business owners. So our specialty is key person insurance, hence the name Keyman Financial Services. We do a lot of that, but our mantra is we try and help everyone we can. I believe if we can help a tradie with 3 kids, he needs insurance just as much as a CEO.
It seems to me that you'd come across as reasonably authentic with your clients, Terry, that you've kind of walked their talk.
Yeah, well, you know, I've got a real passion for the industry. There's a bit of a story behind that, and what drives me every single day of my life in the career. So, you know, I'm pretty passionate about what I do.
And when you're not doing what you're doing in terms of your career and your work, what else are you doing in your life?
Well, I've got 4 kids.
Does that say enough, does it?
It says a lot. But the funny thing is that, believe it or not, 4 of my children work in the business now.
How old are they?
Well, Mia is 23 and she's travelling with me this week.
Well, that's great.
That was her graduation for a uni present. My son Ben is 21, he's studying at Macquarie, studying business and entrepreneurship. Okay. He's working in the business 3 days a week. And my twin daughters, Abby and Paige, who are nearly 18, they're doing some admin work in the business as well.
So would it be rather silly of me to ask you whether or not you've got a decent succession plan for your business, Terry?
Well, as it turns out, yes. It just got a bit more complicated with FASEA and all the studies that we have to do. But just last week we sat down in a team meeting and we created a study plan going forward for the next 2 years. But they are definitely my succession plan. I'm very excited.
That's pretty brilliant. That's good for your clients as well to have that continuity.
Yeah, it's great. It's, you know, my kids have been exposed to MDRT and all the philosophies around MDRT since they were tiny. So it's just part of their core values and makeup, and so they're almost a reflection of me, which is great.
Okay, so other than your kids and your work, what else do you do with your downtime, Terry? What can we dig down into and find out about you?
I play a lot of golf, as it turns out.
Okay.
So in January this year, I decided that I realised that I'm actually in control of my diary. I work for myself, for God's sake. So I scratched out Wednesdays for golf and Saturday mornings for golf. So I'm playing twice a week now, which is pretty cool.
That is brilliant, but my question for you then is why did it take you until January this year to find out that you work for yourself?
I guess it's the work ethic my dad drove into us all those years ago in the fruit shop, whereas we're doing 12, 14-hour days. It's just part of your makeup. You just think you have to work and work and work. But what I realise is that you need downtime just as much as you need work these days.
Okay. And remembering your roots as well, do you have any images of an old fruit shop photographs in your office or something? Do you have hold any reminders of your previous career in your office these days?
I actually do. As I was saying before, I've got a reason which drives me every single day. So in my office, I keep a photo of my dad working in his apron, his leather apron in the fruit shop, and a hat that he used to wear. And the reason I'm so passionate about this business is my dad passed away at 43 of a heart attack and left a bucket load of business debt, and as a result we lost everything. We lost the business, the house, everything. So that drives me every single day, and I don't tell that story that often, but I pull it out when I need to when clients just don't get it.
That's fabulous, and somehow that's just a great place for us to finish this conversation. I think it's been a pleasure. Terry, thank you very much for your time, and sincere best wishes for your future, personally and business-wise.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.